Go live.
All right. Hello and welcome back to the MulletCast. We are the podcast where business and pleasure collide. And today we're colliding with Alessia Daniele. Alessia is the regional VP with Arbonne and founder of Pure Energy Holistic. Find her online, Instagram at @pureenergy_holistic. I'm Evan Balmer.
I'm Mike Marcia.
What's
Evan
going
just
on?
Introduced me.
What's up? How's
Hey
everything?
guys, thank you for having me. And it's funny because I love the heat, so I was like, it's gonna be freezing in there because it's like all men, and all men love below zero. I walked in, I was like, this is my place. I like
meat
this.
locker. Yeah,
I'll
we're
take it.
we're over at a Shared Universe podcast studio, and there's a little building upgrade going on today, blowing out the systems for the holiday. They probably figured like everyone would be off, you
Right.
know, and like no one working. So
I'll take it. It's
do it.
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable.
That's cool.
So it works.
But fortunately, you brought some refreshments
I
as well.
did.
The
I
shaker
got
cups.
something new for you guys too.
Oh,
so,
yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Nothing
So,
you haven't tried before.
tell us a little bit about Arbonne as a company and how you found Arbonne and got involved.
Okay, awesome. So it's kind of funny because if you would have asked me 5 years ago what Arbonne was, what health and wellness was, I had no idea. I was completely clueless. But I always knew that I wanted to do something different. Didn't think it'd be in health and wellness. When I was younger, or maybe in college, I was in a sorority, and people would always ask questions to get to know you, right, when you join the sorority, and they'd be like, what's your dream job? And I said it kind of jokingly, because I'm not a very, serious person, but I meant this. I'm like, well, my dream job would be to be my own boss, work my own hours, work with people, manage people, help them, but I want to go to the beach whenever I wanted and go on vacation whenever I wanted, and well, that just doesn't exist, right? So, that's my dream job, but it's a dream for a reason. So when I was approached by somebody actually from college about starting my own business, everything that she said kind of aligned with all those things.
Right.
And I'm like, well, there's just no way that could be. I mean, there has to be some kind of catch to this. And then she explained to me kind of how network marketing worked. And so part of my mission now, besides being a health coach and being a regional vice president with a company, part of it is to educate people on what network marketing is, and that it really is a viable solution for extra income for someone who wants time freedom or financial freedom, but just doesn't have the means to do that because they're either tied to their job or working multiple jobs, or they love what they do, but maybe the income just isn't enough. So I was approached by my friend because I was working 3 jobs, and she just knew that just wasn't going to be, what I wanted to do. And so I was a little bit reluctant in the beginning, but I just thought it's different, it's flexible, what's the worst thing that happens? And so I kind of just jumped in with it. And then 5 years later, now I'm that person sharing it with people and going, hey, this is a viable solution of something, you should take a peek at it. So
What were you doing prior to Arbonne?
So when she approached me, I was working as a marketing assistant for a print marketing company. So I was doing that full time. And, going into that, it's, again, that illusion of corporate America is just the best thing ever. And then you get there and you go, oh, really? This is what it's like? Okay.
Cubicle.
Yeah, cubicle, right? No windows. And just no work-life balance.
Right.
And so that's why it's funny that I'm here today, because I want to definitely share, yes, business in the front, party in the back, but you can apply the same thing to your health. And so some people are really extreme with different things, but it's the same thing with work.
Right.
You should have that happy balance, otherwise you're going to burn yourself out. And so that's what I wanted to do. I almost wanted to burn myself out. I'm like, yeah, I'm 24. I'm going to work really hard now, save money. And I just realized, well, how long do you do that for before you get to actually enjoy the money you're making? Because I was always working. And then I was also a dental assistant part-time for the extra money. I'd been doing that for a few years. And then I started doing social media for a few dentist offices. So I was really working about 70 hours a week. So when she came to me, I was like, yeah, no, there's no way. I have no time.
Right.
But really, that's all the reason why I needed to do something else, because I really didn't have any time to do anything else that I wanted to do.
When you switched, did you drop all 3 at the same time, or was it one by one until this started rolling?
So
You added a 4th, didn't you?
Right. I was like, I'm going to be that crazy person. And everyone said to me, when I kind of just reached out to everyone, was like, hey, I started my own business. I'm super excited. Come to my house. I'm launching it. And I got like so many weird responses, but most of them were, seriously, you're doing something else?
Right.
Like, what? And they're like, you're crazy, you're crazy. But no, so that's the beauty of network marketing, right, is that it is a side hustle. And so you don't have to walk away from what you're doing, whether it is working multiple jobs, going to school, being a mom, being a dad, maybe starting another business. It's super part-time, and most of it's e-commerce, so I was able to just squeeze it into what I was already doing.
Right.
And then as the paychecks from Arbonne started to grow, my mindset started to go, okay, here I am working, 10 to 15 hours doing Arbonne, mostly for my cell phone, mostly for my laptop, and I'm working the same amount of hours at the dentist's office and doing social media, but I'm out of the house for those hours.
Right.
So I could totally just give those up for the small amount of money that I was making, supplement it with Arbonne, and put a little bit more time into growing that business. So to answer your question, Mike, no, I didn't. And that's the really nice part about it, is it's really meant to be that side hustle, but the income could eventually grow into a full-time income or whatever you want.
Which it is now, right?
Right,
Okay.
exactly. Which took me, about 3 years, 2 to 3 years to get it to a point where I felt comfortable enough to, walk away from that like paycheck lifestyle of,
Right.
you show up to work, you get a paycheck. But at the same time, it was like really refreshing knowing like I get to just do whatever I want now.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it this morning. I'm like, man, network marketing is like the ultimate like mullet gig.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it totally is. And it's like, and it's still work. It's still something else.
Right.
You've got to be really disciplined. So there's times that I just don't feel like doing something, but I have, pictures of places that I want to go and what I want my house to look like, or
Right.
what the next goal is, and I'm like, all right. Watching this like Nat Geo show or like picking up the phone, which one's gonna get me closer to that?
That's cool.
You posted something great today on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At Alessia _ Danielle with 1 L. I thought it was great. Oh, I didn't like it. I liked it for my personal. I should dress for the job I want, and there's a space, but I don't know what a 30-year-old millionaire wears.
Yeah.
I was like,
like
God,
it.
that's awesome.
I did.
a
I
good
saw
mentality.
that too. I commented. I said, whatever
Whatever
she wants, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's funny because some people will look at that and go like, really?
Right.
Like who's? But if you don't know anything about network marketing, that's why they're responding. They're probably thinking that way. But what's amazing about just this business model, and not even just about Arbonne, but just network marketing in general, is you can do that, right?
Right.
You can, the income is so limitless. There are top income earners in our company that are 22 years old making $50,000 a month. Like,
It's crazy.
That's nuts.
right?
Yeah.
Like, what job or even maybe what business could you start that's going to pay you that in 3.5 years?
Right.
There are probably some people that are able to do that with starting a business, but there's that ramp up period of just kind of building it. Maybe somebody who owns a Starbucks is bringing that in, but even that's kind of.
Plus, you're working with products that are top notch, right? So tell us about some of the stuff that you generally sell.
Yeah. So Arbonne's a health and wellness company. We've been around for 38 years, which is amazing because most startup companies don't make it past a certain point. So Arbonne's, we've got that credibility of being around for almost 40 years. But what I love about it is that their policy hasn't really changed much. If anything, it's gotten stricter. But almost 40 years ago, people didn't know what gluten was or how it affected us, or being vegan or vegetarian. That wasn't as well known as it is now. So the fact that they started their company based on those fundamentals of being gluten-free, vegan, and I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but being cruelty-free was a big deal. And they don't formulate with any things that could be carcinogens or heavy metals or toxins. And so, it's funny, I posted something on Facebook the other day just to see where people are at. And I said, when you think of the word holistic, what does it mean? And everyone's like, no chemicals. Okay, chemicals are everywhere. There's nothing wrong with all chemicals.
Right.
Water is a chemical, right? If
Yeah.
you said, like, I don't want to eat anything with chemicals, well, then you just would starve. So, but toxic chemicals are the issues that are in skincare products and nutritional products and pre-workouts and things like that. So Arbonne is always formulated without that stuff. And so just for a little education for you guys, in the United States, there's only about 22 ingredients that are banned from being in products, mostly skincare, but also nutritional products. In Europe, there's about 1,200, so huge difference there. Arbonne restricts 2,000 ingredients from going into their products. So it's the cleanest form of anything that you could use. And it's things that people are using every day, right? So like you guys are showering, you're brushing your teeth, you're using deodorant, like those are products that we offer. So when people say like, what do? You know, how do you market these products? I'm just telling people, you're already doing this, just make the switch to have a longer life or a healthier life. Right. So that's what's really awesome. So we have skincare for men, women, babies, nutritional products. It's plant-based, protein, pre-workout, post-workout, things for energy, which is what I brought for you guys today, things for focus, probiotics. I mean, like I said, most things that people should be using already if they aren't, or things that they probably are anyway.
Right.
And do you give people plans on top of just, hey, here's a good protein for after a workout? Do you say, you know, if you want to do it as a meal replacement, this is how you should do it. Right. Here's what you should eat before, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing, too, is you have to remember we're consultants on the product. So, but I took it a step further because I just got so interested in how plant-based diet, I really don't like that word, but lifestyles work and why, you know, people choose whey over maybe a plant-based protein, and then how to help people a step further, because you could give them a protein shake. That's not changing, right? That's not that holistic approach if they're looking to change certain things in their life. So that's what led me to become the holistic health coach. Do you have to be a health coach to do Arbonne? No. You need to have a cell phone. You need to have Wi-Fi. And you need to have discipline. That's, you know, to do network marketing. I just took it a step further to be able to give people those plans. Because as an Arbonne consultant, I can't tell somebody what to eat and what not to eat, right? So that's where the health coaching kind of came into
That's
play.
awesome.
So what kind of training was involved in that?
So it's funny. I like to tell people too, right, when they're looking to starting a network marketing business, they have to figure out their why. Like, what are you doing this for, right? Most people say, I want to make extra money, but what can you tie that to? Is it you want to buy your starter home, or maybe you know, extra diaper money, or you know, a new car or whatever? Tie it to something. So when I started, it was kind of just a free for all. It wasn't tied to anything, maybe my student loans.
Right.
And so every time like I saw that bill come in from Sally Mae, I was like, oh, Arbonne, you know. But really what it gave me was choices and that financial freedom. So when I heard about IIN, which is the school that I'm getting my certificate from, it's the Integrative Institute of Nutrition. They're actually out of New York, but it's completely online now, which was awesome. It was almost $5,000. And if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I could, one, afford that, or two, even, you know, fathom that idea, I would have just shut it down. And I was like, oh, this is where Arbonne comes into play, right? I have this extra money that, you know, I was putting away for something like this. And so I'm like, oh, I'm doing it. And so it was a year-long program. So I'm actually done. I'll get my certificate on July 9th, which is really exciting.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And so you just basically go through these modules, and it's all different things of doctors that come in and talk to you, activists, Joshua, who's one of the instructors there. Most of them are health coaches in themselves, and so we're not nutritionists or registered dietitians, which they do each something different. Mm-hmm. It's more so bringing to light what's going on in people's lives that makes them eat a certain way or not eat a certain way, or like where's the lifestyle change going to come into play? Because again, I could tell someone, let's make this simple switch and change up, you know, your protein, or, you know, no coffee, but well, what's the reason you're drinking so much coffee?
Why are you looking at me?
Right?
I actually, speaking of coffee, I got the energy.
Yeah, Fizz. Fizz.
I couldn't drop the coffee though, but what I am doing now is at 4:40 every morning before the gym, I take one of those.
It's like a pre-workout.
It's like a pre-workout.
Right.
You know, I don't get the tingly feeling that I would from these chemically loaded pre-workouts that you could get from the supplement store.
Right.
It's enough of a kick to get my day rolling, and then I'm good.
Yeah. And it's good too because most of what comes in there, and again, this is just like educating people. So it's a kind of cool thing where, you know, I could have just been an Arbonne consultant and sold this product, and people love it, and they're going to keep reordering it. But I wanted to know like why. You know, I needed to know why, and so. They've got vitamin B12, they got vitamin D in there, and that's what's giving you energy. So when people are like, oh, I need coffee, your body's literally just becoming addicted to it. And
Yeah,
it's
it's a
not
drug.
your friend. It is.
It's a drug.
right?
Caffeine's
And
a drug,
I'm
yeah.
not saying like you don't have to never have coffee again, or that coffee is even bad for you, but it's not your friend.
Yeah.
And it does become addictive. So,
Right.
but for me, it's not taking it away from somebody, right?
Yeah.
That's not what I want to do to them, because then they're going to hate me and be mad at me. It's getting them to understand, well, what else is going on in your life that you feel like you need to wake up, in the morning and have this giant cup of coffee, and then by 12 o'clock have another cup of coffee? Like, do you not like your job? Are you not sleeping well enough that you feel tired in the morning? It's that stuff that I want to help people get the root of.
Right.
Maybe, I hate to use the word problem, but something that they have maybe going on in their environment versus just swapping out stuff.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I dropped the coffee at your suggestion for a cool 30 days, and I did try the, what is it called? Fizz sticks.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're up there, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
the top left.
I gotta say, the Blackberry is my new favorite.
I haven't tried the Blackberry.
Blackberry,
forget which
that's
one
what
I
I
had.
thought. I have it for you guys.
Awesome.
Come
Well, let's give it a
on.
try. I tried the citrus, really good. I think it's, coffee's like a habit, kind of like
Right,
you said. It's
right.
like,
It
it's
is.
just, it's, I always think of the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, like time to make the donuts. Like,
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
are probably too young, but
Time
for me,
to
it was
make
like,
the
I'd wake
coffee.
up and it'd be like, time to get the coffee.
Right, it's
You know?
partially habit, and then also too, some people just like the taste of it.
Yeah.
But it's funny when so we do a 30-day, to clean eating program, which is really through Arbonne, and most people that are like, I'm all in, I need to do this, I need a reset, I want to lose weight, I feel like crap. Okay, here's the things you can't have. They're like, I can't have coffee. I mean, of all the things that I tell them they can have, and here's the few things you're going to eliminate, it's the coffee and the
Right.
alcohol that they're like, I don't think I can do that for 30 days. I'm
That
like,
that is me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that's a hard two things to
two
drop.
things,
Yeah,
right. And they're like,
and they work together too.
they're like, how do I do that? Right, because you're hungover, so like, now I got.
I need a big cup of coffee, yeah.
A big cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So, and it's really, really amazing, truly, to see the first couple of days, and I check in with them because I know that they're struggling, and for them to be like, I feel like crap, the
Yeah.
first 3 days, and I'm like, well, here's what I want you to understand: this is literally your body withdrawing.
Yeah.
Like, it's no different than when you're doing a drug and you need to, go cold turkey. And so they do it. The Fizz sticks kind of help them power through it. And then after a week, they're like, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that low that they hit. And most people don't go back to drinking coffee because they realize like what it was doing to them. And again, I'm not a coffee hater. My dad owns a coffee shop in Hackensack.
So what happened, Evan? What went on with you?
I'm not most people.
Attorney work is
I'm
stressful.
trying to. It is funny. One time I was at the doctor, like, and they're giving the little questionnaire, like, how many cups of coffee you drink a day? I'm like, I could tell you in pots, but
Right,
not like
right.
cups. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but I'm trying to ease my way back in, and
Right.
find a little balance.
Yeah.
So how has your why changed now for network marketing and tying in like pure energy, holistic?
Right. That's an awesome question. So when I started, my why was, very broad, big picture, financial freedom.
Mm-hmm.
But I really had to get granular with that. And I was like, okay, I want to be able to pay off my loans at the same time as save money, at the same time as help more people, at the same time as still working full time. And then maybe go back to school for something. Really didn't think it'd be health coaching. And then at the same time be my own boss. And it's just like, well, that's a lot of stuff that's going on. So I kind of tackled one by one. And so getting away from the 9 to 5 and the full-time job was definitely something that I checked off earlier than I anticipated to, because I moved from North Jersey down here, and I was just like, well, I just want to do that commute every day. So I'm still helping them out, but I'm not tied to something, which is nice. Being able to pay off loans. So now, and this is like another part of like coaching, and whether it's business coaching or health coaching, is your goals in life are always going to change.
Right.
So when you hit them, you can't just arrive there, because nothing is going to keep driving you. So now it's just really being able to, buy a home, not like your, typical way of putting like the least amount of money down, being debt free. I hear people say all the time, I really want to do this, but I just can't afford it. I'm like, it's $100,
Right.
or I really want to go on vacation this year, but we just can't swing it. And it's just like, I never want to be in that position.
Right.
But the bigger thing for me is being able to show people that they don't have to be in that position.
Yeah.
So I have a team of maybe, 15 to 20 other consultants that work with me with Arbonne, and that's the other cool thing about network marketing is you're never doing it by yourself. You have a team of people doing it with you. But my goal is to show them, like, you can have this too, and then you can pass it on to other people. So we get paid. We get a bulk paycheck at the end of the month. We get paid weekly too, but the bigger checks come at the end. And my favorite day is payday, not because I'm getting a check, but because I get all these texts from people that I introduce to Arbonne or coach them or show them what to do. And they're like, me and my husband were able to, like, pay our home mortgage off of my Arbonne check, or we just, like, paid off our car, or, like, we're going to have another baby now. And, like, those are life changes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That are really cool. Or, I have a couple girls that are in college, and they're like, I'm not working my summer job this summer, like, because I'm just doing Arbonne, and, like, I could pay for my summer class. And it's just, like, to be able to give that to somebody, for me, is the best part. So my why is to show more people what's possible and, like, bring them up to those levels.
So how are they getting business? Like, I know you do a lot of networking and classes. Are they all doing that, or do people do certain things depending on their time? Is it strictly e-commerce and Facebook?
So the really cool thing about network marketing is you can be in a Starbucks and somebody's behind you and sees a shaker cup that has a logo on it, or a lot of people I had a necklace that said Arbonne, and I guess the logo is really cute because people would always comment, like, what is that? Or what's in, you're at the gym and they see something and they ask you what's in there. You really can get business anywhere, and that's the most amazing thing, is that you're networking without even realizing you're networking. It's just kind of training your mind to be on, right?
Yeah.
Like, I always tell the people on my team, like, your mouth should just be open at all times when it's 4th of July. So most people are like, God, thank God I have the day off from work. I don't have to think about work.
Yeah.
Where we're like, I'm going to go to all these barbecues and I get to meet all these new people, right? That's the way that I'm thinking. I'm not showing up there with bottles of Fizz sticks and catalogs.
Yeah.
But, people start the conversation. Oh, what are you up to? What do you do? All of that. It's like, oh, I own my own health and wellness business. And then it kind of trickles. So, but also a majority of my business comes from social media because I post my lifestyle. So I get a lot of questions like, well, how do you do what you do? And people in my family still ask. I was just on the phone with my cousin the other day, and she was like, I'm just confused. Like, how do you pay your bills? And she's like, and don't say Arbonne. I'm like, well, but that's how, It's like they almost don't believe it. So you can get business really through you can't sit in your house all day, basically. Sure. You need to be out and about. But I do a lot of networking stuff down here primarily because I moved to a location where I didn't know one person. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, how am I going to meet people and build relationships with them, and
You've done a killer job.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, no, it's with LaTip and everything, it becomes this, like, camaraderie, right? And I tell people when they're my clients or they're on my team, like, they're like my family. Yeah. So I found that with LaTip and, like, you guys. So
awesome.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I think actually even before I met you the first time, I saw you at a Babes in Business event, and you had, like, we're passing out.
That's the first time
I was a shot girl.
Right,
yeah.
Totally.
That's usually what I say.
A shot girl?
Yeah.
So that's the first time we met.
Yeah.
And then I was with Kyle Smith.
Yes.
And we're just small talking. Turns out that I have a really close friend that was in the same sorority.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Erin, yes. Well, it's funny, too, because that was the first Babes in Business that I had ever done. And it's one of those things where you've got to just get out of your comfort zone. And I love networking events, and I love to talk to people, but I didn't know what to expect, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so when I first got there, I was just like, why am I being so awkward? Like, what's going on in my head that I'm being awkward? And then you guys came up to us. And I was like, what's this mortgage guy want? Like, you're like, hey, follow me on Instagram.
I thought they were alcoholic shots. So I was like, here we go.
Hopefully you wasn't wearing the mullet wig.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up with this dude?
But shout out to Babes in Business because Jen, who runs the show,
she's awesome.
So awesome. And she's really good at making sure that there's not other, companies there that are going to conflict with what you do. So I loved that. And just the feedback that I got, some people, and this is how it always is. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I love Arbonne. I used to use it 10 years ago. I don't know the person, who I got it from. And then they're ordering $500-$600 right then and there because they already knew what they wanted. Right. And some people, they're like, I've never heard of this before. And then I can, kind of consult with them and hook them up with some free samples. So,
that is cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So, I mean, network marketing, like we said, is sort of a mullet lifestyle in a way because you're always, it seems like you're having fun when you're working. Right. But what do you do? I mean, are you always working, or what's your, like, kind of downtime like?
This is where I struggle. So my downtime is me probably thinking, like, the next thing that I need to do. And I think it's also something that like I don't want to say struggled with, but when I went from, okay, I knew that from 9 to 5 I was at work, and then, you know, maybe like texting from the toilet if I had a couple minutes, or on my lunch break, or, you know, before work or after work was when I was squeezing Arbonne in because then I was going to my next job. So when it went from doing all that to having all this time, it made me a little crazy. And I was like, I feel like I need to be doing something all the time, all the time, all the time. So that kind of messed with me in the beginning when I relocated to a town that I didn't know, where I didn't know anybody. Went from working full-time to like super part-time. Most of my network was still up north, so I just didn't really know how to balance that. And I still don't know how to balance it, but really living close to like the river and a park and the beach, like my downtime is just, I'll just like go down there, and even though I'll probably like be reading something or, you know, studying something, or, you know, even just scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, I that's where I'm like, okay, like this is my relaxation. But I'm not like a napper or like, which I probably should be, because but I'm just always on the go. And so I live with my boyfriend Mike, and when we first moved in together, he was like, all right, I'm going to take a nap. And I was like, well, what the heck am I supposed to do when you're napping? And he was like, I don't know. So now, like, he'll know. He's like, okay, I'm going to take a 45-minute nap. So if you need to do something, you have 45 minutes to do it.
That's awesome.
But I'm working on it, because you do need to give your head a rest. And even though what I'm doing with coaching and Arbonne isn't physical work, you're thinking a lot of the time, and you're following up with people and you're checking in. So I've kind of created boundaries to, you know, not feel like I'm working all the time, because you can get burned out, even though half the time you're not really doing anything, you're just thinking. So
on your like day-to-day routine, well, you know, where are you having your products? Like, you know, like I know you worked out this morning, right? Are you drinking a protein shake after that? And then energy drink after that instead of coffee?
You want me to give you the day in the life of?
Yeah, let's hear this. Let's hear it. Yeah.
So I give you like a busy day for me. Which is really towards the end of the month, it always gets like a little, oh, that was close.
Saved it.
Towards the end of the month, it always gets a little bit crazier because we close out our month that way. So I wake up in the morning. I'm training now with Liz Murphy. She's in Red Bank. Look her up on Red Bank Red on Instagram. She
nice plug.
Kills me.
She's
tough.
Yeah.
I walked in this morning and she's like, all right, we're going to go a little hard. I'm like, okay, literally no breaks. I was like 30-second breaks. She was like, okay, let's go. Like, what are you doing? So I wake up pretty early in the morning. First thing I usually do is have a detox tea, because I'm not a coffee drinker. I like having something in the morning. I'm also not a water drinker, which is kind of a problem, unless it's like in here and, you know, we're talking. But so that's something that I'm working on too. I've just never liked water. So I'll wake up, I'll have a detox tea in the morning. Sometimes I'll add a Fizz to just like get the energy going. I usually do have a protein shake for breakfast, just because I'm like on the go and going somewhere. And a lot of people always ask, like, do you just live on protein shakes? No, absolutely not. But I add other things in there that I'm not going to get from like an egg sandwich or having a bowl of cereal. I'll add in things like flax, almond milk, you know, 2 cups of spinach, or when am I eating 2 cups of spinach early in the morning? Yeah. I'll add some berries for antioxidants, you know, I'll add some good fats. So I'm having a full meal. It's just way easier for me, and it tastes awesome. So I have no complaints about doing that. So I'll take that. I try to do a gratitude journal in the morning. So I came across this a couple years ago when I was going to some of these Arbonne things. All these top income earners were preaching about gratitude and just personal development, and I thought it was bizarre. I'm like, they're all like kumbaya, and I'm over here like I'm just trying to sell as much product as I can, right? Like that workhorse mode. But I realize when you run a business, you have to, you know, tap into that. You have to have that balance of personal development. So I try to listen to something either like business related or motivational, or just do the gratitude journal in the morning, and it just sets the tone for the day. I'll go to the gym. I'll either work out on my own, or now I'm working out with Liz. And I usually have, you know, calls set up. So that might be a follow-up call for somebody who's doing a 30-day challenge program, checking in to see where they are, check in with them once a week. That might be a call with somebody who reached out to me, or I reached out to them about product, about, you know, consulting. And then I also do kit drop-offs. So I try to schedule these on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Again, trying to keep certain boundaries. But the beauty of it is if that person can't meet on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, I have the freedom and flexibility to go, okay, I'll do it on Tuesday, right? Because, like, I just want to. So I give out full-size products for people to try. I love this. It's really time leveraging for me. So instead of me sitting here and going through every single product with you guys, right, I can give you some full-size stuff to try for a few days, whether it's nutrition, skincare, things for your wives, makeup. I can give you all of it. I meet with somebody for 15, 20 minutes at a coffee shop. What's really nice about Red Bank is everybody wants to come to me. So like, oh, me, Red Bank. I'm like, perfect. I'll just walk over there. Right. So, you know, it's like I get to walk to work. And you know, that's really, I mean, I meet people at the Starbucks, the downtown, not at Rook because there's nowhere to sit at Rook.
Right.
Yeah, they need some seats.
Yeah, they need some seats so we can bring some business there. Yeah. And I'll sit with them for a few minutes. I'll give them the products to try. And then I'll say, hey, try these for a couple days. You know, use them, love them, and then we'll meet back up here on Wednesday. Does that work for you? Yeah, great. Okay, sure. I go over Arbonne as the company, the business. I get to hear a little bit about what they're doing. And then maybe from there, I'll go to the park for a little bit and just, you know, if I'm still studying for, right, like at this point, I'm still studying for nutrition school, right? So I'll go there. I'll bang out a couple hours there, come back, have lunch. Maybe it's a protein shake. Maybe it's, you know, it's real lunch, or maybe I'll treat myself to lunch. Probably have another call or two scheduled there. And then usually weekends and nights, and not always, I like to do either networking events or workshops of some sort. People can host for me. So I met a girl at Babes in Business. She loved the products, wanted to share them with her friends. I'm like, hey, if you get them together, you get some free stuff. I come, I do a little educational, you know, workshop for you guys. You get to try everything. So that's fun for me, right? Like that's me in my element, that I could have like one-on-one conversations with 4 or 5 women or men around a room where the host is serving wine. So they're all like buzzed up having a good time, but I'm getting to educate them on, you know, like it's just.
I bought what?
Exactly. So that's really fun. And then that's maybe in total 4 hours of my day that I'm actually working. But when you do that consistently over time, right, it adds up. And then another part of that might be doing like coaching calls with my team. So if somebody is new, they jump in, I'm teaching them what to do, I'm going to their events, I'm launching them. So what starts to happen in network marketing is you personally work between 10 and 15 hours a week. But when you start to share the opportunity with more people and you teach them how to do that, those hours start to add up. So I'm only working my 10 to 15, but I've taught other people how to do that. So now I'm getting paid on, you know, 607 hours a week, which would be physically impossible to work.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
That's
it's
nice.
really cool.
Must be a nice end of the month.
The end of the month is always, it's good for everybody. It's good for everybody.
Let's talk about what I've been staring at these things too.
Yeah,
long.
they
Yeah.
look
Let's see
good.
what you got going on.
So I knew that you guys had already tried. It's gonna be really noisy. Tried some of the Fizz sticks, so I brought you. Ming, you gonna have some?
Yeah, heck yeah.
It's like I'm the silent partner over here.
Man, you're so quiet. You gotta start getting in there.
Is it because I'm doing all the talking?
No.
No, not at all. I only speak when spoken to.
Weird. I tell Mike the same thing. So. All right. So the first thing I'm going to give you guys is the Blackberry Fizz. So cool little story behind the Blackberry Fizz. I've been with Arbonne for 5.5 years. Their nutrition has been out for about 10. We always had pomegranate and citrus fizz.
Right.
And, you know, people would always ask, do you have any other flavors? We're like, no, this is it. But they were like, loved it. And so in November of this year, Arbonne surprised us with a new flavor of Blackberry Fizz. And they sold out in 48 hours.
No way.
Where they expected a whole month's supply.
Oh, wow.
So you could see that we
that's that
have
one?
some. That's this one.
Load it up.
So is it back in stock now?
So it's back in stock. So
Nice.
it was around for a limited time only, sold out again.
Right.
And so obviously Arbonne gives the people what they want.
That's cool.
And so it was really cool
That's
too.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And you know it's great too because periodically they come out with some
Thanks.
new stuff. So if I know somebody's like a lover of the
smells good.
citrus, if they're like a lover of the citrus, but they've been asking for another flavor, well, now there's an opportunity for me to open up that door and go, hey, you know, we've got this now. And I love sending people free samples because at the end of the day, nobody really wants to sell anything, right? Like Dennis was just here with insurance. He always jokes around about it. we want the end result of being able to help people, but nobody wants to feel like they're being sold, and I don't really want to sit there and sell you a product. I want you to try it and go, holy crap, this is really good.
And that was really good.
Right, yeah,
that's
so...
very good.
Now, are these meant to be like for someone like to replace bad beverages and to kind of work this into your mix?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm working with Marvin,
Right.
actually, so a new client of mine, and he loves soda, and he's like, I just can't kick the soda.
Oh, he was very serious about that.
Very serious, yeah.
Mountain Dew, right?
Yes.
That's his thing.
And Gatorade, and I'm like, God, like, and those are, I just learned this actually, so this is a really scary yet interesting. In the United States, 7% of the calories that, nationally we intake is just from soda.
Yeah.
And so you would think like, oh, 7 doesn't sound right so bad, but that's just soda's its own food group. So that's like me saying 7% of what you eat is broccoli.
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot of a big percentage, and it's just like empty calories, and it's just really scary. And that's a whole like another thing that I'll want to get into too, is just like being an activist of like, the food industry and how it markets people. And it's scary because you think you're getting something healthy, but
Right.
there's sodas that say there's antioxidants in there, and you're like, are there though? Like, because there's berries.
Right.
So this is the pomegranate one.
Thank you. So what's in here? These vitamin.
Yeah. So in a fizz stick, an energy fizz stick, and if you ever look on Instagram and you look up the hashtag fizzies, they'll come up too because people like to call them that. Is vitamin B12
Right.
and vitamin D, which are really good. So vitamin D is actually a hormone. Most people don't know that. So there you go. Yeah, thanks, Wayne. There's the
Nice.
Do you want to work for Arbonne? Because you pulled that up real fast. So vitamin B12 and vitamin D, which are great to give you energy, and most people actually do have a vitamin D deficiency,
Right.
especially if you work in an office and you're doing the 9 to 5, you're missing all of that time in the sun. And then guarana is in there. And so what guarana is, it's actually a plant-based caffeine.
Right.
It is not addictive, and it doesn't create those crashes that people get from sugary drinks or from coffee. So it takes away that addictiveness to it. That's the problem with coffee. Again, I don't have anything against coffee if people didn't feel like they had to have it. So what you'll feel when you have a fizz stick is it actually suppresses your hunger a little bit too. So if you're like jonesing for a snack, but like the closest thing to you is like, I don't know, pulling into a 7-Eleven or like a Taco Bell or something, you can have this and it's going to get you home. But also it does give you just a little bit of like I like to say a pep in my step.
Absolutely, it absolutely
right?
does,
That's
yeah.
what it is. You're just like, oh, all right.
Right.
But you don't crash after. And so there's like periods where I go where like I don't like drink alcohol, or if like I know I have to get up early in the morning. So I'll bring a fizz stick to the bar with me and I'll just ask for water, and people are like, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you mixing over there? But that starts the conversation. I'm like, oh, it's a fizz, like try
Right.
stuff. I will also say, and this is just, we're at the MulletCast, right? Is it's really, really good mixed with vodka.
I knew that was gonna
Like
go that route quick.
it's a great mixer. It's a great chaser.
Vodka.
Yeah.
It's like instead of doing a Red Bull,
Yeah.
this is like a
exactly.
healthy Red Bull vodka.
Right? And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, as you get older, right, your hangovers get worse because your
Yeah.
body's just shriveling up. But the hangovers are way less.
Yeah.
So it's fun to mix with vodka, like mimosas, stuff like that.
Those
Just so
Arbonne
you-
conventions must get wild, man.
Yeah.
The fizz
Oh,
sticks
yeah.
come out.
Yeah.
Fizz sticks
The
are-
one in Vegas looked
they're-
fun, right?
Oh, yeah, it's so fun. And they're
Everyone's just like loaded up.
hopped up. And it's funny because you could turn to anybody and go, you got a fizz on you? And
That's
like,
funny.
it just becomes like the lingo.
You holding?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I have one. I only brought my folder with me, but I have one in my work bag. I have a couple in my car,
Yeah.
a couple on my desk, and then they're in our cabinet in the kitchen.
Right.
So it's like throughout the day, I used to do a small cup of coffee around 2:00, but I would get anxious after that because it's too much caffeine for my body.
Right.
And then afterwards, my hands would get sweaty and a number of things. This is the perfect mix.
Right.
Yeah. And it
No,
tastes
it
good.
is. Yeah,
and
and
you
it
feel
tastes
healthy.
awesome, and you
Yeah.
can cut. You can have up to 2 or 3 a day, and sometimes I've definitely had more.
Yeah.
Right.
But because I'm not a water drinker, which I'm working on literally this week, and I actually feel so much better already. I'm like, all right, instead of having like 3 fizz, let me do 1 bottle of water and 2, but at least
Right.
I'm getting water
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
as doing it. I met with a girl the other day who's a pharmacist, and she said the same thing. And she's actually, so she's awesome. I'll give her a shout out to Yoko Yoga is her Instagram handle. I met her at a Babes in Business thing, and we connected on Instagram. And she was like, I'm a pharmacist. I don't love what I do.
Right.
I need to be able to like replace this income, but my health is definitely taking a hit from doing what I'm doing. And so we sat, I told her about Arbonne as a business opportunity. She loved the products, ordered a bunch, and she was like, I used the Fizz stick for 2 days. She's like, I've been going to the doctor because I've been having these like heart palpitations, and they told me that I'm drinking too much caffeine. That's probably what it is.
Right.
So she's like, I love this because it's a good like healthy alternative. But you have someone who basically has a PhD and is like, I need to get away from what I'm doing because my health is taking a toll, and I want to do something where I can still make the same amount of money I'm as a pharmacist, but like not be a pharmacist.
Do guys get into Arbonne?
Yeah, they do more and more now. When it first started 38 years ago, it was more women-centric because of the kind of product they had, and because it was, again, 40 years ago, men were going to work and women were at home, and they're like, well, we don't want to be just at home anymore, and let's do this. And our founder always says this, like, when you make women millionaires, you can change the world. So his vision was to target, women and turn them into business women. And then I would say in the past 10 years, more and more men have gotten involved, and this is a kudos to men. You guys are way more logical than women probably are most of the time. So business savviness, comes not more naturally, but you just don't care, right? You're like, all right, it is what it is. Here are my goals. Here's what I'm doing. Women tend to get a little bit more emotional about things. So men excel on network marketing because you're like, all right, you're in, you're out now. Okay, great, next.
Yeah.
Or women are like, well, and they said this, and I just didn't know. And I'm like, okay. Like,
I'm happy you're saying this, and I'm not saying
but it's true.
I don't know. It's funny. Like I always thought the opposite. Like I view like women as being more like organized, to have a plan of action, and
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I like it.
No, seriously. My wife is like, she has the calendar for
Right.
and she has every
Oh,
single
yeah,
appointment and weekend scheduled for the next 3 months.
We're definitely and most, not
Yeah.
all, right? Some women
Right.
are just more organized, but when it comes to the emotion that you can let get into something, I
Right.
think
I can see that, yeah.
which and you need that too, right? You have to be able to build. So Mike and I always talk about this because he works in sales and he's driven by numbers, and Arbonne doesn't work that way. Like, I'm driven by helping people and building that relationship with them. So
Right.
that's the part that you do need, that happy balance.
Yeah.
But you can't get, like, butthurt if somebody doesn't want to do something,
Right.
and they're, like, you cross your arms like, this person didn't want to buy something from me. It's like, okay, well, you know what? Like, you'll find 10 more people for that one no.
Yeah.
To be able to help them. So it's just funny. But yeah, and most of the top income earners in our European countries are men. So it's really interesting to see that.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Those Europeans.
So why does I don't know if it's so much anymore, but there were long periods of time where network marketing definitely had a bad rap. Like, why do you think that is?
I love this question.
Yeah.
For a few different reasons. Anyone can do it,
Right.
right? Usually the startup cost to start a network marketing business is a few $100s.
Right.
So people see that as an opportunity to spend a little bit of money to make a quick fix. And, they're sold the dream, which you should be, right? We want people to know that there's potential to do anything.
Sure.
But I think they come into it with the employee mindset of, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I just show up, right? And then a white Mercedes rolls into my driveway, and
Right.
it's like, well, it doesn't really work that way. There's personal development involved. You have to be able to, grow yourself and have that entrepreneur mindset. And most people don't have that because they were taught to go to school, get a
Right.
degree, right? You're entitled to this job now when you get a degree. And all you literally have to do is show up to work.
Right.
And half the time, maybe you're not even working the full 8 hours, but you're still getting paid to do it. So network marketing is really for people that are the people that show up to work and work the full 8 hours and realize that what they're getting paid is probably less than what they're doing. And for people that are willing to, like, think outside the box of that employee mindset. So it's like,
Right.
you put a quarter in a gumball machine, you're like expecting to get a gumball, right? That's employee mindset. entrepreneur mindset is you got to keep putting in quarters. And even though it's only 25 cents, you keep putting them in, and then all of a sudden you own the gumball machine. Like,
Right.
it's yours. So that's the way that people have to think. But anybody can do this business, so they come in with these expectations of just, doing a little bit and not actually doing the work, and not getting the results that they want, and then all of a sudden it's the company's fault.
And then they stop.
Right, and then they stop, and they're like, well, it doesn't work, and, I was putting more money in than I was getting out. But again, like any business, right, you're doing marketing, you're doing all that. Look at I'll just use GNC as an example, right? They have to market all those products and do all their marketing before the product's sold. Arbonne does it in the opposite way. So the product is sold, and then they pay the person who marketed it after it's actually sold. So it's a super, way more simpler way to run your business. I think also, too, I like network marketing got a bad rap is because the whole pyramid scheme thing. Pyramid schemes are illegal. They're actually not legal. So I get a 1099 from Arbonne. We used to get physical paychecks. Now we have like a debit card. We're accredited by the Direct Selling Association, which is a huge deal. We're actually the #1 company in the Direct Selling Association that sells products to be healthy inside and out. So we have skincare, nutrition.
Right.
We are #1 in companies that do over $500 million in revenue. There's nothing illegal about that.
Right.
But what happens with pyramid schemes is people think, well, I join and then I have to get all these people to work for me, and then I make all the money and they do all the work, and it really doesn't work that way. It's more so of a franchise style. So if you opened up a Starbucks and you had major success at the Starbucks, and Evan's like, dude, this is awesome. Like, I want to open up a Starbucks too. It's working for you. It's going to work for me, right? Everybody wants coffee. Yeah. So now you're like, all right, let me show you how I did this. So you got to take time out of your business, show him what to do. He gets up and running. But what did you get out of showing him, right? He's just your competitor now at this point. So in network marketing, I'm showing people how to be successful, but then at the same time getting paid, and that's fair.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that. But if I just stop doing my business, I don't still get paid, right?
Yeah,
they do, but I don't. So that's fair.
Okay.
That's cool.
Plus the product's good.
Yeah, right.
Right,
The product
so-
sells itself.
Right.
Which is
When you think
so
of pyramid scheme, you think of also shady, fake.
right, like
products
you think
that,
you're getting
you know,
something, nothing ever comes
yeah.
to your doorstep.
You drink one of these and you turn green. Yeah,
Right.
this is like quality stuff.
Right,
So it's a
right,
little different.
exactly.
It's
and I
true.
think, like I said too, in any business, like you have to really look at network marketing as it's not a job. It really is a business. It's just a business for people that maybe don't have the means to open up a Starbucks because
Yeah.
it's hundreds
Right.
of thousands of dollars, or they're not creating. Like, I would not want to have to create that protein. Like, that would be
Yeah.
a lot of work. And so
Right.
everything is already done, and then I go, oh, all right, like these are great ingredients. I'm educated enough to know that, but I don't want to be like, mixing stuff in my kitchen, then I have to get
Yeah.
a warehouse, and there's all this
Yeah.
stuff involved, and you're like, oh, it's already done for me. So it's really cool that you can do
So
that.
for anyone that's gonna listen to this and
Yeah.
they're thinking, wow, this is a no brainer. My
Really?
9 to 5 sucks, right? Is there any out of pocket expenses to start it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's $79
Okay.
to become a consultant, and then we as consultants get a 35 to 50% off of the products. And so I always tell people, if you're really doing this as a business, you have to have the products.
Yeah.
Like you just said, if I came here or let's tip or to somebody's home and was like, join my team and here's all the products we have on the website, right? They're going to go, well, where are they? What do you use?
Yeah.
You need to have them. You need to be a product of the product. I only use Arbonne for 3 different reasons. One, I trust everything that they have. I love that I can wake up in the morning and go to bed and my whole day I'm using something Arbonne related. 2, I get paid back on the products that I buy, so that's pretty awesome. I get them at a great wholesale discount, and at the end of the month for using them, I get a commission from it. And 3, I have to be the product of the product.
Yeah,
So if somebody's
absolutely.
asking me, well, what do you use or why do you like this? We have 4 different face washes, which I know is very overwhelming for you guys. But I don't use all 4, right? I use one, but I've tried all 4 so I can see what does it smell like, what does it feel like. So when somebody asks, I'm not like, well, here's the catalog, here's the information, right? That's why I'm a consultant.
Yeah.
So we do get people started with product, and I tell them I recommend you get started with a few different things. So if you have, because you'll see you're going to be obsessed. So you don't want to give away your stash to people. You want to be able to sample out your stuff to people and still have your own. What's amazing about network marketing is there's no inventory.
Yeah.
So you're not buying 15 bags of protein, shoving them in a drawer somewhere, and like hoping somebody buys that chocolate.
That's what was wrong for the longest time pyramid schemes. So people
Right.
loaded up on these products and it sat in their garage and
Right.
couldn't
And
get
then
rid of
it
it. Yeah.
expires, or then they feel like, well, how am I selling this? So
Yeah.
it's totally e-commerce. I mean, I do have a whole drawer of Arbonne products, but that's just because it's just my comfort zone of like knowing that they're there. But I've never run out of anything, and if I do, I'm like, how the heck did that happen? I'm like, Mike, what have you been using? But we're not spending thousands of dollars on inventory every month.
Right.
Honestly, my expenses are my cell phone, my rent that I pay in my apartment, my laptop that I bought, my internet, right? And these are all things that like you guys have too.
Yeah.
Right.
So I get to expense that against my business, but I would have had to have them anyway.
Yeah.
And then any products that we obviously buy to, share with people and whatnot, and you do that at your discretion, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's the last
Oh yeah,
line?
I was like, I have one more. So this is something new, which I'm really excited to share. And again, same thing. We launched it in April, and within like 4 weeks, it was sold out for about 2 months.
Right.
So, this is called our Mind Health, and so I probably shouldn't say this, but I'll say it anyway because there's no rules, right, Ming? So it's kind of like a liquid heroin. Oh my God, not a liquid heroin.
Okay, so this is going to conclude our MulletCast.
Like a liquid Adderall. So there is an ingredient, and it's like a tongue twister ingredient in our brains, or there's a hormone in our brains that we make, and you can buy it as a supplement too. But most of the time, when it comes as a supplement, it comes from cow's brain.
Right.
They're the only ones that like produce this too. So it starts with a PH. I'll find it for you guys, and because I'll butcher it if I try to say it.
Look it up.
But yeah, look it up. It's so it's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm not even going to try to
Right. It's a really long word, right? And it sounds scary, but it's not. So what that does in our brains is it helps with your cognitive function, which is your focus. So if you're like all over the place or your memory is like shot, it's probably because, you're overworking yourself. And so this ingredient that most people get from cow's brains, which Arbonne's vegan company, so we're not going to do that, we actually derive from sunflower seeds.
Nice.
And so they put it in this product along with some other things in there. There's the grapeseed extract. CoQ10 is excellent. It's an excellent supplement for like cellular function in your body. It's really good for your heart. So that's all involved in here. It does not taste like sunflower seeds. It tastes like it's cherry lime flavor.
Wow.
It's awesome. So here's a fun story behind the Mind Health. And it
You want
tastes
me to
really
get a
good.
cup?
Yeah. And so it
just
doesn't
sweat.
have that same like fizz stick feel to it.
Right.
So you're not like, all over the place. But it's meant to just kind of help you focus on certain things. And so that's right. My struggle is I like to be doing something all the time. So when I'm driving for long periods of time, I am the worst. I'm like texting and driving. I'm like pretty much writing blog posts as I'm driving with like one leg up. And so
That's illegal.
Yes. No rules. No, I'm just kidding. So it's bad, and I'll go. I mean, exits on the parkway and go, holy crap! How did I get here?
Like,
Because I wasn't really paying attention. But it's because I get bored in the car, and I'm like the music and this and that. And so the first time I drank a full bottle of Mind Health, I had like sampled it a couple times when we were in Vegas, but I drank a full bottle of it. And I went from like exit 160 to 109 Red Bank, and I didn't even look at my phone.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I feel weird. That was weird. And then I just, that's my like testimonial, is that I'm like, it must have been because I drank this, and I was just really focused on driving, and my mind wasn't going a million miles a minute. So I throw it in a protein shake, just like get it in there if I just like feel like drinking another thing.
Right.
But like I said, I mean, it's sold out in less than 4 weeks.
Is it available now?
It is. It is completely available. It's awesome. It tastes awesome. And that ingredient that we are all not going to say, you can find in sunflower seeds, but you'd have to eat a lot of sunflower seeds to get it. So
Right.
we extract it from there, put it in here, and it just
Okay.
helps with that cognitive function of memory, focus, and just helping you like do one thing at a time, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
cool.
there's not another.
I will tell you this: I'm going to end up running back to my office after all these tastings.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave my car here and get it later.
I was surprised though. Ming had up the Fizz stick nutritional info before, and I was like, "Oh, this thing's got to be loaded with sugar, like because it's
Tastes so
it
good.
tastes good, and there's barely any sugar in it." I was
Yeah.
like shocked. I'm like, and
Yeah.
especially just the way it looks, because it looks like a pixie stick.
Yeah.
basically.
Right,
Looks like
yeah,
candy.
it looks
this
like
must be
sugar.
like sugar.
No, and that's the other thing too, and we use organic cane sugar and anything that we do have, but we've gone from a society that was like fearful of fat,
Right.
20 years ago, where everything was fat free, low fat, and what did? They loaded it with sugar, and then now we're like, sugar petrified, and everyone's
Right.
like, don't do this. I mean, you can still have fruit and you can still have things that have sugar in them. It's just the amount, like limiting
Yeah.
the amount of sugar that you have. And some people, and I'll squash this for anybody that is listening. Our protein has 9 grams of sugar, but there's also fiber in there.
Right.
And so if you look up like a green apple or a banana, there's like 12 to 15 grams of
Yeah.
sugar, right? But
Right.
you're not thinking that when you're eating
Right.
it. You're like, I'm being healthy because I'm eating fruit. But the difference between, drinking apple juice is that it's mostly not juice probably, or even if you juice an apple, you're getting rid of all the fiber. So people have gone from being like super crazy fat free now, like, okay, let's eat all the healthy fats, and this is what society does, right? You're
Right.
just like harp on one thing.
It's the
and
next big thing.
It's the
Yeah,
next big
yeah.
thing, and then
And
like
it's like all or nothing.
right, it's all
So
or nothing.
that's an interesting thing, because I've heard you say this before, and maybe we could just like close on this
Mm-hmm.
like concept out there.
Yeah.
Is tell us about like the importance of balance, and how do you balance, like, all right, so the people that like, oh, I have to wipe out everything and only do this.
Right.
Like, how do you exist like not only
Not
healthy
to-
for your body but mentally as
Yeah.
well?
Consistency.
Yeah.
And I've learned that over time because I was the yo-yo person. I grew up in an Italian household that we just ate a certain way, and I ate what they ate, and I was always just like normal. And then, like average. And then I went to college and was like, oh my God, all these things that like I wasn't allowed to have growing up because my mom was pretty healthy. I mean, we were eating like that, like all natural peanut butter when we were in kindergarten. We're like, this is gross.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
everyone else has Skippy and we have oil. So when I got to college, I was like,
Peanut
I get to
butter.
eat- yeah. I get to eat
Spoonfuls,
whatever I
yeah.
want, whenever I want. And I gained like 25, 30 pounds.
Right.
And then, that just does all these like psychological things to you too. And so I was like, all right, well, how do I get this off? So I did the extreme diets, and I did the, cutting out this and cutting out that. And they worked, but they don't work long term, because then all of a sudden all those things you cut out you want. So it's just you have to find what works for you, because
Right.
some people have a sweet tooth and they don't want to give that up. But again, I just made a really awesome black bean brownie recipe, which was, 4 ingredients, and they tasted like brownies.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this is great for someone who has a sweet tooth.
Should have brought
because-
those.
I know,
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
we ate them all yesterday. And that's the problem. We're like, okay, we're just snacking on them.
They're healthy, and I
But-
ate 2 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. Like consistency in knowing that like things that are treats should be treated as a treat. But the best advice I could give people is drink more water, which I sound like a hypocrite, but do it because it makes you feel better. Drink more water. Be conscious of like eating more whole foods, fruits, lots of vegetables, greens, even like meats, but like should be sparingly. And have that glass of wine. Have 5 glasses of wine, but don't do it every day.
Right.
Or have like the things that you want. But if you start to do it every day, it becomes compulsive, and that's what people start to like not realize. So
Yeah.
just it's okay to be balanced, enjoy yourself. But food should be looked at as fuel, not like therapy.
Right.
So if you're like, I'm hungry, you'll know if you're hungry. If someone put a broiled fish in front of you and you eat it, you're hungry. If not, you're probably just like jonesing for something.
Yeah.
So like grab a bottle of water, grab a Fizz, like make something, like, have something small, but don't like overindulge. So
Cool.
Awesome.
that would be my takeaway.
Awesome. Alessia, I'm on board for the Blackberry and for this cherry lime focus.
Cool.
Yeah,
Pretty
no, yeah,
killer.
me too.
I'm all in.
That's good.
I love it.
Thank you for coming in. So for
Yes.
people, I'll share your info again, but people that are interested in
product.
talking about Arbonne. How should they connect with you for that?
So you can actually they can go to my website, but, and again, here's the thing. I like to consult with people. You go to the website, you go, okay, what am I looking at? So there is a website. It's Alessia, Danielle with one L, .arbonne.com. But really, I mean, they can email me, alessia.arbonne@gmail.com. They can find me on either my Instagrams. My personal one is Alessia_Danielle_, or the Pure Energy one that you guys had already
1L.
shared.
1L.
1L. 1L. So yeah, they can link up with me that way. And if anyone is listening, I love to give out free samples. So if you guys want to try anything, again, like I don't want to sell you the
About to do some
product.
push-ups.
I want you, I want you to try it. I want you to love it, and then kind of take it from there. So thank you guys for having me. This
Yeah,
was,
awesome. Thank you so much for the
awesome.
samples.
Alessia,
Yeah.
thanks for coming in. Once again, Alessia Danielle is a regional VP with Arbonne and the founder of Pure Energy Holistic. Check out her Instagram at pureenergy_holistic. And you can also find her personal Facebook, Alessia Danielle. I'm Evan Balmer. I'm an attorney with the Balmer Law Group. I'm at http:// I don't know where that one came from. BalmerLawGroup.com, on Instagram at Evan Balmer.
You can find me at mortgageguy_Mike on Instagram. I do mortgages with NJ Lenders. And check out the MulletCast. We have a Facebook page. It's at MulletCast on Facebook. We're going to be posting, I think, weekly.
Yeah.
Weekly, our podcast. We have a nice arsenal of links coming out. So definitely check it out.
Every Friday, I figure that's the ultimate mullet day, where
That
where
is a good
business
mullet
and
day.
pleasure collide.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
why not?
Thank you guys.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Alessia.
much.